Hey guys, welcome back to my Flash episode review. My review of tonight's episode of The Sound and the Fury. Well, this is actually a really, really good episode. And of course, I know I go into a lot of these episodes like, oh, hey, this episode was good. Oh, this episode was good. Again, good episode, and not just like good action and stuff. It's a good story, good character development, especially with Harrison Wells and what they've been doing with his character in the last string of episodes, make you wonder like what really is his end game, especially with that little tidbit at the end of the episode when he's talking to Gideon and his future computer AI whatever, and it looks like he's struggling with his speed, and obviously they reference the Speed Force, which is awesome like for us like Flash comic book fans. That's pretty cool that they're finally bringing that into the show. And overall, it's just like a really good episode. Like it's just like not again like not just for like typical reasons, but they actually brought in a villain who wasn't just like another throwaway villain of the week. Who actually I thought served the story well, and even the performance the actor gave. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but Pied Piper. I thought it was actually a pretty interesting villain, considering the first few episodes a lot of them were just villain of the week, and well again while I do like Captain Cold and Heatwave and that stuff, I do like it when they do use characters to help tell the story of another character or to drive the plot forward instead of just like just another throwaway character. I prefer that rather than just like like a villain of the week, which the writers kind of forced to do when they do have like a 22 episode season. Then they can't exactly just have like really like one solid villain throughout the entire thing, because then it's like what's like what else like realistically like there would be other threats. But yeah, I felt like this was really Harrison's episode, and I don't even know what to do I need to call him Harrison? Do I need to call him Reverse Flash? Like I don't even know what to call him anymore, because obviously if you're watching this, you more than likely know that Harrison Wells was revealed as the Reverse Flash, and he, especially in this episode when he's like struggling with his own speed. It's really cool to see, like they're finally starting to like bring his character like up front, and like they're making you really wonder like who he is and like what what his end game is, like what his plans are with Barry and what he's doing with Star Labs and what he's been doing this entire time. But my big thing is, okay, so obviously he's from the future, we all know that, and if he is Reverse Flash, he spent the last like 14 years in the past. I don't know. Obviously that'll be all explained hopefully by the end of the season. But it still makes me wonder like really like what's going on, like why did he come back in time, obviously to to create the Flash, but like why stick around, why do this, why do that. So hopefully like they'll be able to explain that in future episodes. But even yeah, as much as like I loved Harrison, his character development in this episode, I mean, besides the fact that I know he's Reverse Flash, he's actually like a really well-rounded character. When when I don't have that he's Reverse Flash like thought in the back of my head, because like seeing like taking the character as it is like on like the page essentially, seeing that he's like to everyone else like that front he's putting up with the whole world essentially. Excuse me, is that he's just like this guy who basically was responsible for a great catastrophe that led to the deaths of a lot of people, created a bunch of metahumans and all that stuff. He has his weight on his shoulders, and he feels the need, especially in this episode, that he needs to come out and be honest, especially when that secret's about to come out. He's like, you know what? Well, I can't hide this anymore, so I'd rather just tell him myself instead of having this guy just because he's angry with me, have him tell people instead of me. So I'd rather just like be upfront and tell people, which is something I really enjoyed, and I loved Harrison's excuse me, I loved his reactions, his interactions with Cisco and Barry, and even Hartley, the Pied Piper. I loved his interaction with all these characters because it shows a really human side of him that I don't think we've really seen a lot of like so far this season. Again, it's nice seeing that side of him because again, like all we've seen is kind of like this kind of like stern, smart genius guy just trying to help Flash. And it's nice seeing them bring a little humanity to his character again, which makes him a more interesting character, like given that he is the villain. that like they're setting him up as the villain, the big villain, and but even then, like seeing his dynamic with Cisco, especially by the end of the episode, you see like he really does care about Cisco on a real level, and like whether it's because he knows he's gonna be Vibe or whatever, like because of him being from the future, he did that on purpose. But it is really nice seeing that and seeing Cisco and Harrison have like that mutual respect for each other by the end of the episode. Obviously, once Caitlin, Cisco, and Barry found out about Harrison Wells knowing about the whole particle accelerator thing like ahead of time. I mean, obviously that hurt them, but in the end, Harrison did try to do the right thing and make amends with the people he cares about, which I thought was really nice. And overall, I thought this was a really good character episode as well as. Besides it being Harrison Wells, I liked the interactions between the characters. I really like the dynamic between Hartley or Pied Piper and Cisco, and seeing their dynamic is obviously like Hartley didn't like Cisco from the beginning, and Cisco didn't really like him from the beginning. So it was nice seeing like them butt heads throughout the episode, and it was definitely that was really interesting. And the one thing I didn't like with the previous like when the episode began was like previously on the Flash, and I'm talking about the whole Firestorm thing. They don't show Firestorm or Robbie Amell or anything, or they don't mention him or anything until the very end of the episode with that little, oh, I know exactly where Ronnie is. Like, if you let me out, I'll tell you or whatever. And I know exactly what happened to him the night of the particle accelerator explosion, which to me is just like, okay, I know they're trying to like set up Firestorm, obviously, with the giving him a costume and he's gonna have his own episode and whatever. But still, like, I'd rather see Firestorm than just have him be mentioned, especially when the way they set up in the beginning. I thought he was gonna be in the episode, but ultimately he wasn't, as you can see. But yeah, again, again, really, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. But again, I really like this episode because of the character and the way everyone was written for the most part. The only thing I kind of have any like really wrong with it was I didn't think they used enough of Iris, because I feel like normally like Iris and Eddie are kind of like in the like not like in the forefront, but like there's what's going on with like Team Flash, and then there's Flash, and then there's Barry and Joe, and then there's Eddie and Iris. And I felt like Eddie and Iris kind of like it was more of like an Iris and Eddie thing. Like Iris had more of a story than Eddie, but still like I felt like she kind of felt sidetracked, like was sidetracked so they can focus more on like the main part of the story, which is kind of understandable. It was nice seeing her like start to embrace like her journalistic background, like she has in the comics, which I found pretty cool. And even like because I care about the character so much, I was mad when I found out like her bosses only hired her because of her Flash blog, and then that guy tried telling her off like oh like what do you bring to the table? It's like, oh, spunk, and then like he's like basically telling her like she's like worthless and all that. And I'm just like, well, fuck you. So I mean, and so I really felt with Iris with that. And again, like that was like my only. I don't think they used enough Iris. So, and I haven't always been the biggest fan of Iris, but I mean, she's grown on me, and I like her a lot as a character, especially when they're giving her good material, like the actress, the good material to work with. And I'm really looking forward to what is going to happen with her and Barry and their relationship when Barry starts going out with Linda Park, starting next episode, and I want to see that dynamic now that she knows how Barry feels about her. So it'll be nice seeing how that plays out. But again, like that whole thing that was my only real gripe with it. There's a lot of other stuff that I liked about it. Let's see what else. Again, like I like seeing Wells, using his speed. Like that was pretty cool. Something again we haven't really seen much of like since the Reverse Flash since the mid-season finale. Even though you didn't really see him using his speed, it was cool seeing that in this episode. And in the beginning, when Barry was taking down those bad guys in the beginning, that was the Royal Flush Gang. It's a recurring group of villains. If you don't know, it's a recurring group of villains in DC Comics. It's never been a consistent team. It's constantly changing up different villains each time. But basically, it's a group of 5 people typically, or between like 3 to 5 people. And there's King, Queen, Ace, and a couple other people. So and there was a version of the team on Arrow in their first season, which I actually really I like that episode. It was cool seeing them brought back. Obviously, I doubt it's the same characters, but it's cool seeing the Royal Flush Gang brought back. A nice little cameo. That was pretty cool. I hope they bring them back because I like them. I like that villain team, so it'd be cool to see them come back. And another thing I actually really liked was the whole like thing when they had that press conference and Harrison Wells, I mean, when Wells stepped forward and said he's like, oh, like I knew about the risk going in. I was warned, blah blah blah. And then he's like, oh, does anyone have any questions? And then the guy who works with Iris is like, yeah, do you plan on building or redoing this accelerator? He's like, hey, Miss West, do you have a question? And like he only answers, Iris reiterates like, oh, are you gonna complete the particle accelerator? And he's like, oh no, and then that'll be it. I thought that was kind of cute, like especially for Iris's character, how she got to have the spotlight on her. Yeah, I thought that was really cute. This was a really good episode. I'm really again like it was a bit more of a filler episode, but I think it was a good filler episode. And I'm honestly I've been way more looking forward to Arrow than Flash these last few episodes, mainly because of what's kicking off with Arrow has got me a little more interested. But again, these are really really good episodes, and I love the chance to be able to sit here and talk to you guys about it and hear your guys' thoughts on the episode. Because I mean, what else am I going to do on Tuesday nights? That's the show's over. I mean, typically I just spend the night on my laptop anyway. But this gives me something to do, and I enjoy what I do. So I think that'll be it for me. Again, really solid episode. I'll be obviously you guys, unless I say otherwise. I'll be here next week to do my review of next week's episode. And if you watch my Arrow episode reviews, I do that Wednesday nights after the show as well. A little later, but because I get off at 10 most nights, so by the time I actually watch the episode, it'll be around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then, so my video will be posted sometime around like Thursday morning at midnight. But if you guys want to watch that, you can watch that too. But again, that'll be it for me. Until next time, have a good one, guys.